Hi everyone, thanks for joining in. I'm excited to have Kate Solly joining me. Hi Kate.
Hi.
So
Hi, Jackie.
a little bit about Kate. Kate's a writer, a mother of six, and really quite good at getting the bubbles out of plastic book wrap. A mother of six is a pretty fine effort, I have to say. While most of her time is spent finding lost shoes and investigating what's making the car smell bad, Kate frequently escapes to write entertaining things. She has penned many articles and columns and reviews for various publications, but when she is not writing, she enjoys starting crochet projects and never finishing them. So her book is Tuesday Evenings with the Compton Craft Resistance, which I'm trying to show my copy there, and I can see you've got lots of copies there in the back, which is great. And just want to mention to people watching that thanks to Affirm Press, if you ask a question during the Facebook Live, you have a chance to win a copy of Tuesday Evenings with the Compton Craft Resistance. So thanks, Kate, for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me. It's very exciting.
Do you want to start off by telling us a bit about your book?
Yes. So it's my first book. Here, look. You should hold up a copy too. Tuesday Evenings with the Copeland Craft Resistance. It is a chatty, fun read. A lot of people say they read it in a day or a couple of days. Very accessible. It's about a group of crocheters from all different backgrounds who become activists when some refugees come to settle in their town, and that attracts some nasty people who are protesting their being there. So they become activists with yarn bombing and other creative ways. I was really inspired by the Welcome to Elfin movement, and also which isn't crochet based, but definitely a creative movement, and also the Believe in Bendigo. I believe in Bendigo movement as well.
And what was the first idea you had for the book?
I think it might have been my sister convinced me to write a book. That was part of it. But for this particular plot, I wanted a group. I love stories about groups of people and where they're all different. And I wanted them all to be, working towards a common goal. I didn't know what that was. I knew that we'd have all these different types. I knew that it'd probably involve crochet. And I thought, what can they do? And what's a worthy cause for them? I was watching an episode of The Project, and they were talking about, there was a mosque being built in Bendigo, and they were showing that these protesters had come. They weren't even from Bendigo. They'd come from interstate, some of them, to protest it. And there was this one guy who was driving this truck through the streets playing the call to prayer and saying, is this what you want? You're going to get... And they were interviewing him, and he's just like, I thought, oh, gee, I'd really like to see him get his comeuppance somehow. And I realised I could do that in a book.
Yeah. And is writing a book something you'd always thought you wanted to do? You did say that you got some encouragement to do it, but...
I did. I like to think, when I was younger, my grandmother would always encourage me to write. She was very much a part of that. But I also think more recently, well, not that much recently, several years ago now, I had small babies at home, and all my siblings were off, unmarried, all off traveling the world and sending home. This was back in the days before we really had instant messaging. Do you remember when we used to send group travel emails? They send these emails out about this is what's happening in the Solomon Islands or in Cambodia. And I would email back, and I'd put a lot of work into it and say, well, this is what was happening today in Kmart and in Aldi and IKEA. And my sisters would say, oh, you should write a blog. You really should write a blog. And I thought, who wants to hear what I blog? It's like I've got something to say. So I started a blog. And then eventually I got the courage to show some of that to some magazine editors, and I got some jobs. I wrote some columns for magazines. And I mentioned to my youngest sister, Felicity, I said, oh, I love when I've got a column to write, and I hate that bit of time in between where I've got nothing to write. I would love something to work on. And she's like, you really should write a novel. And I said, yes, So I'm never going to do that though, because I don't have an editor. I don't have a deadline. I know it's not going to happen. She goes, right. This is Felicity, right. I'm your editor now. I'm your book editor. Every month you need to send me a bit of your book. Every month. I'm waiting for it on the deadline. Let's set a date and that's the deadline. And that's what got me started, just knowing that someone's going to read it.
Yeah.
And that was 6 years ago now. It's taken, it's been bit by bit.
Yeah.
Sometimes it was 200 words at a time, but we got there.
And can you tell us a bit about how you ended up actually getting it published?
Yes. I've been very blessed, actually. Along the way, I met the very wonderful Kate Kennedy. I didn't know her personally, but for a long time, she was the nicest person I'd never met. We emailed each other. She had come across something I'd written. I'd written this article that got a bit of attention where I was having a real go at Michael Lunick. It was probably, it was after his Instagram pram cartoon, and I wrote an article pretending I was the mum in the cartoon.
Oh, okay.
And she wrote back to me and said, thinking also that because I wrote about having a baby because the mum in the cartoon had the baby, and she wrote back and was also saying, I could help look after your baby so you could get some writing done. We had we emailed back and forth for a long time, and she had a look at the manuscript and she said, I think there's some potential here. And I was like, all right, but it's not ready. And she said, I've been thinking about your novel. I think a firm press would be a really good fit. And I thought I hadn't heard of them.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know who they are. But then, of course, like someone says, I've just bought a Mazda. And then you just see Mazdas everywhere.
Yeah.
I was seeing a firm press everywhere. I'd get a book out from the library because I thought it looked interesting. And it was a firm press. And so I got up some courage. I said, okay, I think it might be ready. I've sent it out to some beta readers, and I got it ready. And Kate was able to ask a few people, and she found someone to send it to, and they were really receptive. They've just been so supportive and lovely. So
that's great. Yeah. And we've got quite a few people watching, so just wanted to say to the people watching, don't forget to type in comments any questions you have for Kate, and thanks to a firm press you'll have a chance to win a copy of Tuesday Evenings with Coped-in Craft Resistance. Joe has a question, and I think this might be a question quite a few of us are thinking. She said she'd love to know how you squeeze writing in around 6 kids.
I get this one a lot. Look, I mean, I often say, people say, how do you do it with 6 kids? I say, people have seen the state of my house, don't always ask that question. But I think when you have a large family especially, or when you're in a caring role, it's really important that you insist on time for yourself, just so that you stay sane. And for me, I'm lucky that the thing that I do that lights me up is writing. And so I get up really early to do some writing, and I would, when the kids were smaller, we'd go to I shouldn't name drop. We would go to some Swedish furniture shop together, and I'd put them in the childcare and do some writing in the meatball cafe.
What a great idea!
It was great. I don't know if they do the childcare anymore, sadly. But
yeah, I think they stopped it
lasted.
after COVID. I think they stopped it.
And I would have to get very creative, but I was very motivated to do it. It's what I love to do. So, and I've got a wonderful supportive family and all those sorts of things too.
Yeah. And Kim wonders, what was the most surprising part you've found so far of writing your first book?
It's a really good question. It's been humbling to have the book out there and have people reading it. People I know and people I don't know. These characters who have been my imaginary friends for so long, and I've shared a bit with my brothers and sisters, maybe, but have mostly just been my imaginary friends. Now people know and they're talking to me about them. it's humbling and gratifying. Yeah.
And what was it like the first time you saw your book, like on the shelves in a bookshop?
Oh, I went with my son. We had this whole plan of doing a whole documentary of it. We ended up with a whole lot of shaky cam footage that we couldn't really use. But it, for some reason, I felt awkward about it. I went into the shop and I felt really apologetic. I was like, I'm actually an author, and I wrote a book, and I was like bright red, and I don't know why it needed to feel so awkward, but I felt really awkward.
They were
And
probably
just seeing it on the
excited.
shelf like a
They would
real
have been
book,
excited to see you in the
they were
shop.
lovely.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm getting used to that now, that it's all right. They'll be lovely. You don't need to be shy. But seeing it next to such amazing books as well, I'm just like, oh, look what it's next to. That's very humbling. And something else I found beautiful about the whole process is how warm and supportive the Australian writer community is. They are just the loveliest people, and the most impressive writers are just so happy, like, you know, and welcoming. It's wonderful.
Yeah, that's great to hear. And Dana wonders, which of the characters in the book are you most like, and why?
That's a good question. I often say all of them. All of them. I am all of them. I am Luke, you know. But my friends will say, you're Claire. That's you. You're Claire. Claire is the scattered mother of 5, because I don't think people would find 6 realistic. Scattered mother of 5 who doesn't quite have it all together and is a bit forgetful. I can definitely relate to that. Who's often starting crochet projects and then stashing them in a drawer. That's but all of them, there is something of me in each of those characters. I very deeply relate to Yasmin. I put a lot into her that is from me. And yes, definitely that they all have a bit of me in them.
Yeah,
for sure.
And what about your own crochet projects? Can you tell us a bit about them, or have you got any to show us?
I do. Do you know, only because I've got stuff scattered about everywhere. I didn't have this ready. I was like, oh, here we go. There's this one, right? This one actually, it's not my usual style, but I've been fiddling around. It was, I don't know if you can see. It's got tissues in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like a square at the back, and then it's got these 4 overlapping triangles, and they make a cute little pouch. You put earbuds in.
Yeah.
Oh, and here, this is my lovely Kindle case.
Oh, nice.
They're just all at hand. I'm making another Kindle case to try and match the palette of the book. So blue with bits of pink and orange. Always working on something. But I was, you know, there's lots of random stuff about the place.
And Kieran's got a good question. She wonders if the title was the original title, and she says that she loves your title.
Oh, I wish I could take credit for the title, because it's such a great title. Just like I wish I could take credit for this cover. Like so many people.
It's a beautiful cover.
Bought the book because of the cover and the title, and that just shows how many people are involved in getting a book out there. The author is one of them, but there are many people involved. And the title I have, the only input I had was to say I really like it. But when I put it in, my title, it had gone through many different versions when I was writing it, and for a long time it was called Kate's Novel. And then at one point I called it Hooking Up, which made it sound like a completely different sort of book. I think the readers would be disappointed. Stitching Together was the title I gave it when I handed it into a firm. And they came up with this one, which I think tells so much more about what to expect and gives much more a hint of what kind of a book it is. Because I think books with longer titles tend to be those comforting, heartwarming reads, and that's what I'm hoping this is. But yeah, and that cover is just glorious. I just love it.
Yeah, it is. I love her.
I want cushions with that pattern on it. Put them on my couch.
And Sharon wonders how you chose your characters' names.
Ah, some of them came to me right away.
Mm.
I think, and some of them were unnamed for a while. Edith, I think, was Edith from the start.
Mm.
I would always think, sometimes if it's just a throwaway line, like a name that is just an absolute bit character, I might name someone I know. But I'd be careful for all of them. The name often will suggest their age,
Yeah.
their class,
Mm.
and it might also tell you a bit about how they were brought up. Because I think someone like Gideon, he's one of the bad guys, kind of. But I feel like he must have had a very sheltered childhood, and he's used to being an outsider in a way. Because his name there wouldn't have been many boys his age with that name.
No.
So sometimes I think a lot about it, and sometimes it just seemed right.
Yeah.
I'm just going to call them this.
And Anne says she loves your Kindle case and she loves the name of your book. Kim wonders if you have any time for any other hobbies.
That's a good question. I do crochet a bit. I love to read, but that kind of comes under the same. You've got to be able to be a reader to be a writer, I think. And I love a good cryptic crossword.
Yeah.
I only do one a week. The Friday Age, or the Sydney Morning Herald has it as well. The DA, David Astle. Oh my goodness, that takes me all week.
Oh, right.
And often my sister Emily and I will get together and do it.
Oh, really?
As well.
Yeah. And you mentioned you love reading. I can see there's a lot of great books behind you.
Okay.
Is there anything you might have read lately that you'd like to recommend to us?
Oh yes, I'm in the middle of it at the moment. I'll show you. And I made sure. Actually, no, that's the other one. I want to recommend that one. That's next. And here, this is what I'm reading at the moment, and I am loving it.
Yeah.
It's an upstairs downstairs book. So usually I keep fiction upstairs, and I might have a non-fiction downstairs.
Oh, okay.
But this one is coming everywhere with me. I take it on the school run. I'm taking it about. It's just so good. So I'm really enjoying that. I'm almost at the end, and I want to take my time with it, but I'm also hurrying because I'm really excited. The next pink book, I'm all about the pink books at the moment. The Last Love Note. I've heard a lot of good things about it, and I'm very excited to read that one too. So I had to recommend too.
Yeah, no, they're great ones. Thanks for the recommendations. We always love adding more books to our piles of books to read.
The teetering pile.
Yeah, exactly. And I've got a similar question from both Dana and Kieran. They're wondering if you're working on something new at the moment.
I am. I had to take a little break over school holidays, but I'm itching to get back to it. I've been working on it all year. It's a cozy mystery.
Oh, okay. So a bit different than...
Like a Miss Marple, except Miss Marple is a mother of small children. And that's one of the good things about being a mother of small children is you're quite invisible.
Yeah.
And you can get away with a lot. So that's going to be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to getting that.
And how far along are you with that?
I'm just about at the end of the first draft. I'm not quite at the end yet.
Yeah, no, that sounds exciting. And what sort of things have you been doing to promote your Tuesday evenings with the Coped Craft Resistance?
That's been great fun. I've been, I think I might have square eyes from my social media time. I've been working out how to do TikTok. I have some teenagers in the house who've been helping me a little with that because I'm a bit of a dag when it comes to those things. A lot of things on social media, and I have been bringing it up awkwardly in every conversation. I just sort of, speaking of potatoes, I wrote a book, all the time. And as I said to my husband, my very patient, long-suffering husband, I'm like, you might have heard me say it lots of times, but for them it's the first time.
Yeah. Yeah. And Anne wonders, do you have a contract for this next book?
I haven't yet, but I've been chatting with
Yeah.
him.
Oh,
Only because I'm not ready.
that
Yeah.
sounds promising then.
Mm.
Do you want to tell the people watching how they can keep in touch with you?
Oh yes, I have socials. Like I said, I've got TikTok, although don't follow that too much. I'm on Instagram and Facebook, both at Kate Solly Writer, and I think that's probably the best way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for sharing that. Thanks for chatting with me. It's been great talking to you, and want to really thank the people who joined in. We had some really great questions.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah, thank you. And thank you for
Thanks.
having me.
Thank you, and bye everybody.